shared this at the time. Shared this weed, man. Uh, but yeah, true story. I like Wilson Chandler. I did. I celebrated the hiring, but there's a reason why he's not in Philly. There's a reason why he wasn't in demand, and it was because he's old and he's slow. The Nets need a dirty work player that has some length. It would do the Nets lineup much better to have Rodions in it than Torian Prince. But I know that's never going to happen. Kenny Atkinson is not like Utah's coach, which understood Royce O'Neal isn't my best guy, but the dumbest thing I could do is put Bogdanovich next to Gobert. Gobert is the best defensive center in the NBA, probably. Him or Embiid. But what he did strategically is he gave a power forward, and Royce is short. He's built like a Mack truck, but he's short. But he's the appropriate size and strength to play that center. He put a butt and boxed out on Jarrett Allen every single time. That's called strategy. That's called watching the film and scouting and going, oh, these dumbasses play with no center, with no power forward. And the entire league knows. And what happens when Kyrie comes in the game is that he doesn't make the team worse. The coach makes the team worse because then he doubles down. He goes, okay, I'm going to play with 3 guards and a small forward. That's not going to work with these big-ass teams. And I watched it like a fight, like a boxing fight yesterday. And what Philly was doing, they couldn't shoot. Their offense sucked. But they were just giving the Nets body blows, wearing them down. And that's what teams do. They just keep giving the Nets body blows until the fourth quarter they get knocked out. You can't play with a team that has no versatility. They play with 4 jump shooters basically, or 4 jump shooter slashers. And then they say, all right, Jarrett Allen, you do all the front court stuff. They send that kid on a suicide mission every night. And it's wrong. It's a bad game plan. And Atkinson has not adjusted to it. Not last year, not the year before. And he has to go, man. I'm done with that dude. I'm early, but I think I'm one of the few Nets fans and I make everybody mad. No one likes it. It's the worst thing that can happen to the Nets. The need for a coach. Or the need to replace their coach. Let me tell you, I've never wanted Mark Jackson. Never. But there's no coach besides Pablo Prigioni. And I don't know. Pablo Prigioni is too much of a wild card. Mark Jackson, I hate him because he doesn't believe in analytics. It's not. But the Nets need to do what Toronto did last year. Dwayne Casey, goddammit, won the Coach of the Year. But the ruthless king of all GM and the African king, the Nigerian nightmare for the Knicks, Masai Ujiri, was ruthless. And that's what you have to be to compete in this NBA. He ruthlessly fired Dwayne Casey. I was thinking about it. I was like, nah, that black man ain't gonna fire that coach, man. And you know how hard it is out here for black coaches in the NBA. Fuck all that. Fuck all that cheerleading on the sidelines. Fuck all that. He wanted to win. And he found it on his bench. He gave Nick Nurse the job. He was like, lead us to victory. And Toronto has a championship. He was like, yo, I'm getting Kawhi, and I can't play around. I may only have 1 year at this. And I can't have Dwayne Casey come in here with his 1990s, early 2000s basketball and fuck this up for me. And he was ruthless. And he got him up out of there. And that's what the Nets have to do. Hate me. You know. The worst thing about having superstars is how it polarizes a fan base. There's Nets fans and then there's Kyrie and KD fans now. And now people who've been talking basketball together, you know, who've met up at games, who've bought each other drinks, who've shared tickets with each other, you know, smoke joints together, you know, we're not talking right now. And it's the Kyrie police. And it's because everyone wants to put their head in the sand based off, they don't want to look at what happened last year. Boston was better when Kyrie was hurt. They made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. So the thought was, when Kyrie comes back, we're going to be even that much better. That wasn't the case. He left. They got good again. There's something in science called cause and effect. It's the most basic principle of understanding or testing something. Cause and effect. And if we're going to understand what's happening to this Brooklyn Nets basketball team, we have to be reasonable with looking at the effect and dissecting the cause. Why is this happening? I'm still in the camp that it's not Kyrie's fault. But if the young guys are playing scared, dudes are playing for their NBA careers out there. Jarrett Allen got 17 and 10. And somehow he got left off the list of who Kyrie thinks is the core of the team. Whether by accident or not, it just goes to show, like, yo, you're a weirdo, dude. You can't been playing basketball your entire life and not know you can't do things like that. And I don't blame Kyrie. I blame the organization. They knew what they were buying. They knew who he was. There's enough sample size to explain and give you the track record. You have to be prepared, and you have to prepare him for that. Now the team is going to get worse because the players are going to be playing scared. His teammates are going to be worried. Am I the guy that's going to get traded? I saw it with the Lakers last year. I remember when Carmelo Anthony was coming to the Knicks. The Knicks were a scrappy team with Amari Stoudemire. They were playing playoff basketball. But the Melo rumors just kept on coming. All of you guys are getting traded. And they played scared and they lost games. And the Nets are 4 games under 500. They don't have room for error. Who would have ever thought the Nets are worse than Orlando? That Markelle Fultz is having a more positive effect on Orlando than Kyrie is having on the Nets. People have to be fired. Changes have to come, and I don't believe it starts with the players. I don't believe it starts with the 21-year-old who got 17 and 10 against Al Horford last night. It has to be the coach that basically doesn't understand where teams are attacking him. Players are driving to the basket. If this is the NBA, you can't stop most of these guards on the perimeter. They're going to get to the basket, and you can't have Jarrett guarding the center and then having to flip around and guard the guard. There's no weak side help. He doesn't have eyes behind his head. And even if, with the speed basketball players playing, him turning around after facing his man and guarding his man and turning around and guarding somebody else's man, because we have no other post presence in the time that the NBA is at their most athletic, most skilled, we're still playing 2012 basketball. We're still trying to bring back the magic of the 2013 Atlanta Hawks. Coach Budenholzer doesn't play like that. You know what? I didn't want to make this podcast. I'm ready to pod every night. I love talking hoop. I'm passionate about it. It gives me a break from looking at numbers and data and people and wife and kids. It lets me have something else pretty cool to enjoy and talk about. And I enjoy talking about it with all of you guys, with everybody on Twitter. It's fun for me. There's so much bad feelings. There's so much just angst and worry. And then there's delusion too. It's like, oh, KD's coming back and everything's going to be fine. Well, KD belongs on basketball Mount Rushmore. But what do you hear every time from superstars when they go places? I need help. I need help. And the worst idea in the world, and I'm not even going to talk about it today, it's just too much, is to just think you're going to have KD play the role that Rodions Kurucs should be playing on your team. Or someone like that, a Covington. That's how championship teams are built. The Showtime Lakers wasn't just Magic and Kareem and, everybody was Magic and Kareem and Worthy. Nah, they were Byron Scotts. They were dirty work players that did the little things that win basketball games. We're just a bunch of jump shooters out there. That's not going to work. And what's not going to work is us in the Nets fan base being mad at each other, having bad feelings, and not willing to look at the situation for what it really is. It's not your fault. It's not about who's right or who's wrong. We want to win. We want a championship. We want to be able to hold our heads up high and be like, and put one of those golden badges on the back of the jersey that for championship teams, for our team. The rest don't matter. Come on, New York City. Let's get our mind right.